What's good, everybody? It's the Clown with Cap show. We got UFC 289, the GOAT Amanda Nunes versus Irene Aldana. I think this is a great matchup. And then we got Charles Oliveira versus Danielle Darnish. That's another great fight. But I think for Amanda Nunes, she is the GOAT of the women's MMA of all time. No one can convince me otherwise. What she's done in the UFC is amazing. Since 2014, she's 13-1. It's amazing. I mean, she's dominated from head to toe. And I'm even really confident to say that Amanda Nunes can defeat a transgender. Yes, a born man transitioned into a woman. I still would match up Amanda Nunes to defeat that. I really would. I still think Amanda Nunes can defeat a transgender. I know it might sound crazy with the testosterone levels different, you know, being born a male, transitioning into a female, but I really believe that Amanda Nunes can do that. She hits like a dude. She hits like a Mack truck, and that's the difference here. And she puts pressure on her opponents every single time. And so that's why I say, you know, Amanda Nunes can defeat a transgender. I really do. I'm really confident in saying that. But watching Amanda Nunes, first time I watched her was back in like 2014, 2013 time when she fought the GOAT at the time, which, you know, I have the utmost respect for, you know, Ronda Rousey. What she did for the UFC is spectacular. She grew the women's division, absolutely. But during that time, everybody was like, hey, you know, Ronda Rousey could definitely be Amanda Nunes. And I thought stylistically when I watched that fight, I was like, I don't know. You know, Amanda Nunes' stand-up game is way better than Ronda Rousey's. We saw Ronda Rousey before that fight get defeated by Holly Holm, which, you know, Aldana, she did lose to Holly Holm back in 2020, which was an interesting matchup, really technical fight. But overall, Amanda Nunes just, hey, she hits like a dude. She really does. And when she defeated Ronda Rousey, you know, it was like, holy cow. Like, who is Amanda Nunes? That's when I knew she was the real deal. That's when I knew she was probably become the GOAT, when she defeated, you know, when Amanda Nunes defeated Ronda Rousey, defeated Holly Holm. You know, the list goes on and on. She defeated so many great fighters. And it's like, who else is going to step up? You know, who's going to defeat Amanda Nunes in her prime right now? Nobody. And I understand she had a fluke defeat a year or two ago. You know, everybody has a defeat in the MMA, in the UFC. Yes, I understand Khabib, but, you know, looking at the Great Eagle, the Khabib, what a career. But, you know, we look at Khabib's resume and say, you know, not a lot of world champions, and he fought mostly strikers. And I do think Khabib lost when he went up to 170 years ago, a long time ago, where he did get taken down twice in that fight. But that's beside the point. Shout out to Khabib. He's a legend. But Amanda Nunes, she's definitely the GOAT in the women's division. Absolutely. The best MMA fighter the world has ever seen. That's why I said she could defeat a transgender, because she hits like a dude. She puts the pressure. And the thing is, Amanda Nunes, what separates her from the pack is she wins in so many different ways. She can win in stand-up. She can win boxing you. She can win by takedowns, you know, beating the crap out of you. She can win by submission. There's so many different levels of success of how Amanda Nunes can defeat her opponent. And I just don't think Aldana is going to have that really it factor for her. I don't. I just don't. And Amanda Nunes, she kind of reminds me in a way of how LeBron James in basketball operates on the court. Just great IQ of the game, knows everything, all the ins and outs, and great at everything. Scoring, rebound, defense, everything. And that's what Amanda Nunes is inside the octagon. She's great at everything. You know, every little detail, Amanda Nunes is great. Let's check mark the box. She's great at this. She's great at that. Every single thing Amanda Nunes does is great. So I just think Amanda Nunes, the only lady who's going to defeat her is herself. That's what's crazy about it. She's 22-5 in the UFC. You know, since 2014, 13-1 since 2014, which is crazy. And then Aldana, she's 14-6 in the UFC. Lost to Holly Holm back in 2020, like I said. But looking at Aldana, how is she going to be, Amanda Nunes? I think she's going to have to stick and move the whole fight. I don't think her trying to take Amanda down would be insane, because I think Amanda is a great wrestler as well. So I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think she's going to be able to take Amanda Nunes down. So it's really going to be a stand-up battle. But I just think it's really, this fight's going to go however Amanda Nunes wants it to go. If it wants to go to the ground, she's going to go to the ground. If she wants to stand up and bang, she's going to stand up and bang. And I just think Amanda Nunes controls the fight, controls the pace of the fight. That's what she does great as well. So I think that's what she's going to do in this fight. And I think she's going to really exploit Aldana, where it's just like, what are you going to do? what are you gonna do? Even the best thing that you can do, you can't defeat me. That's the thing, and that's what makes MMA so great. Is like, you can do so many different things. That's why I think MMA is just taken off so much in the past 20 years compared to like boxing, for example, where boxing you only get to use two arms. That's it, dude. Like, you don't get to use your legs. You don't get to throw leg kicks. You don't get to throw elbows. None of that. So I think, boxing is definitely in the past right now. And I think, the MMA and UFC is just taking over. I think this is the future. I think that in the next 20 years, it's going to surpass it and just continue to rise and rise. And it's amazing what Dana White has done for the UFC since he really established it. When he bought it out about, 20 some odd years ago for about $3 million or so. He was going to go bankrupt, dude. Like, people didn't believe in Dana White. But he believed in his division. He believed in his mind. He believed in his vision that, hey, I can make different weight classes. I can make different divisions here and just have the UFC become great, dude. And he really did that. But as far as Amanda Nunes goes, she's the best woman fighter ever, in the MMA history. You can match up any woman in the world and put her in the octagon against Amanda Nunes. I'm taking Amanda Nunes. That's why I say confidently Amanda Nunes can defeat a transgender. I really do believe that. And I wouldn't be surprised at where our world's going, in 2023, where they do have transgender divisions. I would even say, hey, go fight Amanda Nunes. Even born males that transition to females, I would still take Amanda Nunes, dude. She's just so IQ of the game. She's super strong. She hits like a Mack truck, and she will just plow right through you, run right through you. That's what Amanda Nunes does. I love watching her fights. They're so exciting, and I think, what really Amanda, her stand-up game, she can even get better. I think a lot of the times when I watch Amanda Nunes, she throws a lot of crazy strikes, a lot of overhand rides, but a lot of the times they land. So it's like, are they crazy? Are they over the top? Are they uncalculated strikes? But a lot of the times is, they might look uncalculated, they might not look good, but they still land. And when they land, the opponents drop like a bag of ice. And it's amazing, dude. So I love Amanda Nunes. She's the GOAT. Nobody can convince me otherwise. She should be on the video game of the UFC cover. I really do. Because Amanda Nunes has that it factor. She is the GOAT, dude. The longest two-time division champion ever in the UFC, dude. Two-time division champion, held it the longest ever, dude. Like, nobody's ever held it as long as Amanda Nunes has done. I'm like, that is crazy, dude. That is a crazy, insane stat where it's like, how does Amanda Nunes do this shit? Like, straight up, how? How? It's amazing. And I think, like I said, she's great at everything. That's what separates her from the pack. And a lot of these women come in to fight her. A lot of them are kind of one or two-dimensional fighters. Amanda Nunes is more than a two-dimensional fighter. She's an every-dimensional fighter. She's great at everything. Jiu-jitsu, ground, stand-up, against the cage. I'm going to control this fight. That's what she does. But I see this fight against Aldina. I see this fight standing up. I see it banging out, and I just think Amanda Nunes is going to knock her out. That's how I think this fight's going to go. But, it's really however Amanda Nunes wants the fight to go. If I want it to go to the ground, it's going to go to the ground. If I want it to stand, it's going to stand. Whatever Amanda Nunes wants in this fight, she's going to have. And I think, Aldina's going to really be in for a treat this fight. I really do. She's 14-6. It's going to be crazy. Obviously she has nothing to lose. She's the underdog. She's not supposed to win this fight, and everything else. But Amanda Nunes, she's going to win however way. But I'm really thinking in the vision that I'm seeing right now is by knockout. I think Amanda Nunes is going to hit her with the right, and she's going to drop, and the ref is going to stop it before it gets really out of hand, okay? Just like she did against the Ronda Rousey fight. So it's amazing. So shout out to Amanda Nunes, the GOAT. She's going to become victorious yet again in the UFC. So shout out to Amanda Nunes, the GOAT. Then we got the co-main event, Charles Oliveira versus Beneil Dariush. Dariush is 22-4-1 in the UFC. He's on an 8-fight win streak. And this dude, Dariush, man, he is on a freaking heater right now. He's on a mission. And let me tell you, he's hungry. And that's why I'm kind of concerned about Charles Oliveira, which he has a lot of experience in the UFC, been in the game for a long time. He's 33-9 and won no contest. He lost to Islam back in October last year, 2022. And that was a crazy fight as well. But I just think, looking at Charles Oliveira from really when he first got in the UFC, he was so young. And I remember when I first watched him against Max Holloway, this was years ago. And Max Holloway, it looked like a back and forth fight the first round. And then all of a sudden, Charles Oliveira, touches his shoulder collarbone, and he just falls down in the first round, like probably 2 minutes into the fight. And Max Holloway goes to hit him. The ref like pulls him off. And ever since that fight, I noticed I was like, a lot of people were giving hate to Charles Oliveira, saying he was a quitter, saying he quit on his coaches, quit on everything. And ever since then, he finally became champion, lost it to Islam. But ever since that fight, I saw Charles Oliveira grow in the UFC, and I was like, man, this guy's never going to give up. And when somebody never gives up, you know, they're on a mission, you can't stop them no matter what. So I love Charles Oliveira for that aspect. And I was just like, wow, you know, he beat Justin Gaethje, he beat Dustin Poirier, you know, so like there's a lot of great fights that Charles Oliveira overcame, and really the odds were stacked against him. You know, choked out Michael Chandler. So, you know, looking at Charles Oliveira, I'm saying, dude, he's a beast, man. A lot of people just throw shade at him, saying he was a quitter a long time ago. Stop it, dude. He's a former champion, and I think, you know, for Charles Oliveira, man, this fight is going to be interesting to see how it's going to go and play out. I just think Darnish right now, I think he's a slight favorite. I just think he's a little bit more hungry right now. I think his timing is just a little bit more precise than Charles Oliveira. Now, I'm not going to say Charles Oliveira is going to lose in this fight, but I kind of am leaning more towards that right now and saying, you know, Darnish, what I've seen from him right now on an 8-fight win streak, how hungry he is, I can see that doing that. I really can. I think Charles Oliveira, he wants to go to the ground. He wants to submit this guy. But I think if I'm Benny right here, I'm saying, look, dude, I want to keep my distance and stick and move in this fight. That's how you're gonna win this fight. You're not gonna win by going to the ground here if you're Benny Darnish. You're not doing that. You just don't want to do that. You want to stand up and bang with Charles Oliveira, just like how Michael Chandler had a little success in round 1 against Charles Oliveira. So that's what you have to do. When you get this fight to the ground, Charles Oliveira's going to submit you, and it's going to be over with. And that's just how it is, dude. He's a master at that. So, you know, I want to see Charles Oliveira win, but, you know, I'm thinking right now, you know, Darnish just has more momentum right now, just is a little bit more hungry is what I'm seeing. Not to say Charles Oliveira's not hungry at all. I'd love to see Charles Oliveira win this fight. But I think Charles Oliveira right now in his career, I think he has passed his prime in a way where it's like, I think, you know, Darnish just, I'm telling you, I think he's going to win by knockout. I think Darnish is going to hit him with a right or a left where it's just going to be like, oh, crap. You know, obviously one of the two, right? But he's going to mix up with some leg kicks as well. You know, that's the thing. You know, in UFC, throwing a leg kick, imagine getting a leg kicked in the calf, dude. I can't move as quick anymore. You know what I'm saying? Or in the shin or just, dude, anywhere. Like, it would hurt. I would hate to get leg kicked.